Goblins is a fun little game by David Szymanski, the creator of Dusk. It's a pretty short game, but what's there is very enjoyable to play. It's kind of like an 80s B-movie in terms of plot and style, like Gremlins and The Evil Dead 2 and a few others all mixed together. The game features 5 distinct levels, starting off in the present day with a museum level, followed by an urban streets level outside of the museum, and then we start to travel through time and end up in Dracula's Gothic castle, followed by a level in ancient Greece, before finally ending up in a futuristic apocalypse level where the goblins have taken over. This style of jumping through time to very different looking areas is reminiscent of Hexen 2 and Daikatana. Normally, comparing something to Daikatana would be a bad thing, but here I mean it in a good way. Plus, unlike Daikatana, David Szymanski isn't trying to make us his bitch. The game also features a nice variety of weapons and enemies. We start off with a very basic knife weapon that's very effective against the standard goblins who only have a melee attack. Sometimes you can take them down with a single stab to the face. Then very quickly we acquire a flintlock pistol, which becomes useful against the ranged goblins. And if you time your attacks right, you can also deflect the projectile of the ranged goblins. Though I think this is quite hard to pull off and tends to just be a happy accident when it does happen. As well as the pistol, you also get a shotgun and a stake launcher, which is similar to the nail gun from Quake. And in the ancient Greece level you also get a staff that obliterates enemies. This must be the game's version of the BFG. There are a few boss fights as well. There's a bunch of goblins performing Grand Theft Auto, and you can use them to your advantage to get to high places and secrets, as this game has no jump button whatsoever. There's a singing Dracula who might be related to the Great Mighty Pooh from Conker's Bad Fur Day. He just sings at you as you shoot him. And then there's the Cyber Goblin, which isn't really a proper boss fight, rather an anticlimax after what you've just survived. Playing the game on the harder difficulty does increase the number of enemies in levels, which is a feature that I always like to see. It harkens back to the old id Software games like Doom and Quake. Whilst the game is quite short, I'd say that's a good thing for the most part. It's a cheap game made by one person in a short space of time, and there's a lot of effort and thought put into every aspect of the game. And it's refreshing to play a game that doesn't go on forever for hundreds of hours like Assassin's Creed or other such open world nonsense. But I think it would be nice if the game had just a few more levels. By the time you get to the 5th and final level in the game's mechanics have really started to come together. Everything's got a nice swing to it, and then it just sort of ends. It's a bit of a shame really, because I think a few more levels would really add to the experience of this game, even if it's meant to just be a short project that can be completed in one sitting. Dusk, by comparison, has 30 levels and 3 secret levels. Chop Goblins does tease us with a subway station, and I was kind of hoping we'd get to have a moving train level, but sadly we don't have that here. All in all though, I would recommend this game to anyone who enjoys first-person shooters, the 80s aesthetic, or just likes to blow up enemies into piles of jibs.